It's a glorious night. Alright, the old can's been thinking. And the, yeah, I do have a can. Military scooped out what I used to be having there, and they said, that's good enough, let's put them on the front line. Anywho. Yeah, so no, I gave more thought to this, the reason why people are saying they're getting sadder, and I guess, not to make fun of them, to give more clarification on them explaining why things around them are, I guess they aren't realizing that this is some familiar waters for them too, because if that guy was 51, yeah, that means he's 10 years older than me, so that means he was born in 74. So if he was born in 74 when he was 20 years old, I was 94, and come on, obviously, what was going on in the 90s? The crack pandemic. So and then, the older you get, it's just going to be, people in their 30s, people in their 40s. And crack affected everyone, man. There was no discrimination. So now, the people in their 50s have lived through that. And then, like I told you, 9/11, we lived through 9/11, because now I was born. But as far as like a crack pandemic, I didn't see it, but I do remember when I was about 5, 4. I do remember going out in the public, and you would see people out in public, men and women holding hands, just living life, walking down the street, laughing, giggling, talking about whatever was on their mind. Like, people having open conversations in public. I remember seeing and hearing that. And it was everywhere. It wasn't just, in the cities. It was in the small towns. And if you went to the cities, yeah, you saw more people walking around the cities. And, so that was in the late 80s. In the late 80s. Because, like I said, I was born in 84. So I remember 89 to 90. Here and there. I was a wild child. I injured myself, so my memory from that point on is a little blurry. And but no, I remember people, being out in the public. And then once it hit like everywhere, not just in the huge metro areas. But yeah, once it hit everywhere, that all stopped. Like, I never saw people walking in public like that anymore. Today. So I think that was maybe like 92, 91. Yeah, because I was in first grade. I remember that, yeah. Yeah, because around first and second grade, that's when I noticed that there were no longer people in public. Everyone was just indoors now. Because, people were doing stuff to people because of crack. So it wasn't just public, it just wasn't in public areas either. It affected a lot of family members and friends. I mean, later on in my life, I found out one of my cousins, maybe 2 of my cousins, smoked crack. So I was like, damn, I never knew that. I asked my mom about stuff some of my cousins did, and she just kind of like gave me a serious look and like, you still remember that stuff? Like, oh well, yeah. She's like, oh wow, I didn't think you would remember. So she explained it to me. I was like, She's like, yeah. She's like, that's why we didn't let you guys. That's why we didn't told you to can't hang out with your cousins anymore. Yeah, like I said, I'm from a boomer family, so I had cousins way older than me. So they're old enough, you know, to say yes, I'm 18, and this is my younger cousin, blah blah blah. So back then, yeah, no, that word, the police would just say, okay, no problem. But if it was an issue, the police would hold you and then tell you your parents to come get you. That was the big no-no. Yeah, see, at times a little different. So, yeah, some people in their 50s, yeah, they lived through, yeah. So now, think of this. For this era, 2010s and 2020s, you know, like, because I remember in the 2000s, fentanyl was, well, I didn't know it was fentanyl at the time, because they really didn't want to give it a name. They really didn't want to talk about it too much, but the powder was going around where you get a little bit on you, and then cops would, like, die from it, or they would go into seizures. So it was around for a long time, but it just never made main news yet. Now it is, and they're, you know, the rainbow pills. So now they're trying to tell kids that if anyone say you want to buy Skittles or rainbow pills, like, say no. I was like, oh man, I remember this stuff. That was a strong note of reality for me. I was like, oh man, I remember this stuff. And yeah, people did do that to me in the towns we would visit. Yeah, pushers would be in the freaking toy stores, man. It was crazy. Asking if you wanted to buy some adult candy. Like, what? I remember hearing that stuff, and then my dad came out of nowhere. He was a cop, but it wasn't his, he wasn't on duty, so he would just go to security and explain to them that they tried to get the person, he ran out. And that's when he told me about that, about drugs. I was like, oh, I did not know that. So now, you know, they're seeing it again, and they're remembering what happened the first time with their friends and family. So, you know, yeah, obviously, yeah, now I understand why people say they're getting sad. Because, you know, they lived through crack, 9/11, fentanyl, and COVID now. Like, damn, oh man. The reason why I'm talking about crack is because I watched a documentary, and I was trying to like I said, I'm always thinking. So I was trying to understand there's something I was missing that could link between me and older people together, especially, you know, just a 10-year age gap. So, and that's what I linked. I was like, because I watched a documentary. Oh man, I keep talking too much. Throat is dry. Old man dry. And I'd watched a documentary about crack. It was on Netflix again, and the guy, I guess he became a professor and he became a doctor in the philosophy sense, not like a doctor in medical. And he was saying that he said he wrote a poem. It was a real short poem, like, you know, just hey, is there anyone out there? And then he said the point of the poem was it's silent for him. Because of all his loved ones and all of his friends died from crack. And the beginning of it, the guy is saying, like, no one's going to tell you about this. No one wants to speak about this. He's like, but crack killed a lot of people. And he said it did that, and after he says it did not. It was not discriminating. It did not discriminate. It took everyone. Yeah, because I remember there was a lot of people working and out of nowhere, poof. There were for hire signs everywhere. Yeah, I was like, whoa, what happened? So that's why they said the 80s was like a really, everyone was poor, man. Everyone was poor in the 80s. Yeah, the news. Oh, the reason why I'm talking about all that. I keep forgetting to say. On YouTube, the old show Cops that would be on Fox back in the 90s, it's called Cops TV now on YouTube. Go and watch the old episodes. They have crack episodes on there. There's even an episode where these two crack, well, I guess former crack users, and one lady relapsed, and she was pregnant. And so the one that was still sober was getting upset, like, why are you smoking crack when you're pregnant? Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, I remember seeing all this stuff. Yeah, you would see police and people acting wild. Like, I was a kid, so I really don't know. My dad would make up all these stories. Yeah, it hit so hard that even Eric Clapton made a song, Cocaine. Every parent used to say, he's saying propane. That's what I said. I remember seeing all of it. I couldn't register what was going on because I was a kid, you know. And then, okay, so nowadays, when kids see this stuff, they know what it is. So now you can't lie to these kids. So that's what I was trying to say. That's why in my previous videos I said it's not the parents' fault. Imagine trying to be a parent and tell your kid that, oh no, they're not high, when they can, like I said, all their friends have iPads or whatever, and so good luck trying to prevent the group mentality, because, you know, it's all learning stuff. They have not perceived yet that you're the lifeline for the rest of their life. That's the way I think of, you know, when I substitute teach. Like, my job is to ensure that they can get to the point in their life where they're like, where it starts clicking and snapping. Like, all right, cool, you get it. Good. So, yeah, go to Cops TV, and then there's Florida police departments that are actually allowing hired. You see them in their vest, and they have their little titles on them, and they actually film them. There's one where they're doing traffic stops. Just I think it was like Coral Springs Police Department. Yeah, that one was fun, man. Yeah, just listen to those police officers, man. So, well, I'm not saying go and support them. Go and say, stop doing this and stop doing that. Have a different perspective in life. So yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're struggling and you're trying to stop drinking, you know, just get more information that you have not seen, and then just process it. All I'm asking you to do is simply watch things that is out there, accessible for you to view. Watch it passively, and it's full episodes. You know, an hour, 48 minutes, 45 minutes. Whew. Okay, I remembered it. Because I always keep forgetting to talk about it. Because, yeah, no, I turn on Cops TV when I get done driving. And I'll sit there for, you know, hours. And I'll look up like, oh, man, it's 2 or 3 a.m. Like, I better get to bed. Because, you know, I've applied for a bunch of jobs. Oh, I did my interview today. My phone interview. It seemed that it went well, so I like the fact that at the end they said to conclude the phone interview, she just said it went well on my end. So she's like, so I will let them know that it went well for us, and if you need, and she told me if you need if no one contacts you within 7 days. And then she's like, you can contact me at the email, or you can call me. And she said, "Do you have any questions?" And I started laughing. I was like, you know what? That was going to be my only question. And I was like, because I have not been doing that, and I have not been doing that. And then she just laughs like, "Oh no, that's perfect." She's like, "Oh, I hope you have a great day, and I hope to just interact again." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So, hoping for the best. Hoping for the best. So yeah, if you're one of those people who leave YouTube comments, yeah, just let those people know, like, you know, hey, you know, just, I guess you could just ask them, is previous events in your life also affecting you that you haven't spoken about? Yeah, you give a platform for people to speak. And sometimes people just want to talk. That's why I'm saying, like, I love people that blabber. Like, I wish my ex-wife was a blabber, but no, she wasn't. Like, dang it, I married the wrong woman. So if you blabber, yes, you're, in my opinion, you're wife material. Well, I'll talk later. Bye.